Alrighty then, it's time for Juggernaut Garen, and yes, I am as surprised as you that they let me have him. Which one? Because Juggernauts are pretty much being banned 24/7 right now. And the reasoning for that is because they're really overpowered. See, the idea of a Juggernaut was that they wanted to build this type of champion that has good damage and is super tanky but no mobility, so they can sort of brute force their way into fights. And they will get rewarded for actually achieving something, right? They can't just go in there and make a fight. They have to sort of go through all the shit and stuff and then stab someone, and that stabbing has to be rewarding for them. I'll explain a bit more in a bit. Now watch this. I didn't take teleport, so Yasuo gets that whole level 3 shenanigans crap against me because he did. And then the Elise tries to gank and forces this gank so much, and she wouldn't have even gotten the kill even if Gragas hadn't shown up, so that was just so forced. So now my lane is kind of losing, and as you can see, Gragas is still hanging around, and I suspect he's going to try to tower dive me, so I ward the tri-bush, and then I just sort of have to embrace a cold death. Here, I get tower dive and absolutely murdered. You know, even if I had teleport, it wouldn't be back up by now, because I would have probably tried to use it for the level 2 cheese. Either way, two things. One, right now, there's like a bunch of people in the background in my neighborhood making tons of noise, so if you hear any of that, just kind of ignore it. Second, it's just more of the Juggernaut thing. The thing that makes the Juggernaut super strong is not that they do a lot of damage, it's that they don't die. Like, they don't die in an adequate pace, right? Think of it this way. When you expect a damage dealer to running into onto your team, you expect to be able to throw CC on them, kill them, or at least kite them back, right? You expect that. Thing is, the Juggernauts, they have so much tankiness that's not actually plausible. So it's like you have to burn so many resources just to control them that it's absurd. And the reason is, yeah, you might kill the Garen, you might control him, but then that leaves the rest of his homies to just destroy you because you just burned everything so inefficiently. Basically put, Juggernauts right now are forcing really inefficient exchanges in team fights and in skirmishes and whatever. The enemy team has to burn so much shit just to deal with me, or is going to have to, you'll see that in the fights, just to deal with me, that my Corki or my Annie is able just to get away with doing whatever bullshit they want. So that's probably the biggest issue with Juggernauts right now. It's just they're gonna their damage is fine in my opinion. They're just gonna have to tone down the defenses, all this free stats they have. So if Garen wants to run in there and spin on you, there's a good chance he's just gonna die. But look at this. It's just well, they're not really trying to do any damage right now. But you'll see in fights, no matter how much shit they throw at me, I don't even have any true tank item. I'm gonna get a Black Cleaver first, and I still don't die. So anyways, you can see that my laning phase is not the greatest thing ever, but I'm already starting to I'm already starting to show that I might snowball out of control. My damage with just one item, which is a hybrid tank damage item, is a little bit absurd, and my tankiness is glorious. But the rest of my laners are, on par, although I don't think my jungler is doing all that great. Like, he's just kind of getting countered here and then dying. Although he does have 2 kills and 2 assists, so it's not doing terribly. I think he's just kind of the weaker of the entire game. Anyways, here you go. As Yasuo, who is apparently a master in constantly taunting, is starting to realize that, you know what, maybe I can't actually fight this Garen. He tries to ult me. Of course, that doesn't do shit. And if I had auto-attacked him, I probably would have killed him. Either way, Annie shows up, torches him, and kills him. And this pretty much resets my lane. I'm able to freely farm now. And I can already see that if I have my Ignite, I'm going to bury this Yasuo. And now that I have a Black Cleaver, it's pretty much even more of a case now. So, I love Garen. You guys know that I played the shit out of him before. And I gotta say, right now, Tank Garen is doing as much damage as Ass Destroyer Garen could do, but being even more unkillable. It's just ridiculous. As you can see right there, the Yasuo's too stupid enough to realize he shouldn't be trying to fight me. Garen is a big time counter against Yasuo, and because of that, I'm pretty much able just to take the top lane and start controlling this entire area of the map. I don't have teleport. I have taken teleport before on Garen, and especially when now he's a Juggernaut. But because, again, I saw the matchup I was going up against, Yasuo and Diana, I was just thinking, okay, melee champions don't get destroyed. And just watch how beautiful the team fights are later. So, Alright, this tower is pretty much gone. I'm trying to push towards him. You can see the red buff is up, so I'm warding there just thinking maybe the jungler or Yasuo would be going up to red, and of course I catch Yasuo. I spin on him and do as much damage as I can. I have to flash for him because he tries to escape, and then he just gets ulted. Clean death. It costs me flash for flash in my ultimate, but that's fine. Then the enemy team gets a little too cheeky here. Gragas goes in, Blitzcrank pulls me, Diana jumps in, but it's like they already lost their positional advantage. They burned their shit on me, and they didn't achieve anything. So Diana dies for very little effort, and then we catch Gragas, and he dies for even less effort, and then the red goes to us. That was such a really, really silly exchange. They should have just given us red, or at the very least, not burned everything on me. But again, I hope you're seeing that. I am now going to build sort of tanky Dead Man's Plate because it's like some kind of utility tanky item for yourself, a selfish tank item. So I am going tanky, but you should still see I am taking almost no damage in any of these little exchanges. I can tank towers, I can tank enemy champions, and I just won't take any damage. It's ridiculous. Hell, near the end of the fight, you're going to see how fucking dumb it is at the Nexus. Just like how little damage I can take as Garen. So yeah, remember those background noises are really annoying. We catch Diana after she killed the Elise. We're scouring the map, and of course you can see, yeah, we're kind of leading 19 to 12, well 19 to 13 now. But this game is not even close to being over. It's not as easy as it's looking right now. So again, Juggernauts, they take a lot of effort from the enemy team to down. So the first team fights are gonna start brewing soon. You can see I already pushed down top lane. I'm looking to hang out with my homies and just watch just how dumb. Pretty much I can do anything. Like I jumped on the Diana. It's like nothing, no damage is gonna be dealt to me. Hell, even if my homies didn't come help me, I would have killed it for clean. Silly enough, my teammates kind of go for it. It's like the tower dive. The kill on the Diana would have been just nice and clean, and that'd be enough. But instead, they dove and they got kind of butchered. I'm trying to run, but then I keep looking, you know, the enemy keeps giving me opportunities to do something. So I jump back on the Vayne. The amount of damage I do to her because she's a villain is extreme, and I'm just taking all this fucking damage. I am going to die, but look at how much effort is being taken. I mean, being wasted of the enemy team just to take me down. And I did a shitload of damage during that fight. So, I just don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what the fuck Riot was thinking. I figure that maybe old Garen would have been fine if they introduced the new items. But Riot kind of decided to do both things at the same time, and that's honestly dumb in my opinion. They should have introduced the items and then made the reworks right after to sort of gauge the powers a little bit easier. Because right now the Dead Man's Plate is allowing a lot of bruisers and the Juggernauts to do dumb shit because they get free mobility. I'm trying to do some free damage on them. Of course, it's not free because I'm getting counterattack. Just trying to pick at them. And nothing comes to avail. Yasuo is doing the whole Yasuo thing of mindlessly split pushing and taunting us during all chat. Though he only kind of said a few things. I don't bother to waste my ultimate because he's going to die anyways. And for some reason, he decided to flash and he died. So it kind of cost him a shitload there while it cost us nothing. So again, I just can't say it enough. I don't understand why Riot thought it would be a good idea to give Juggernauts the level of tankiness of a true tank and the damage of a bruiser. So it's like they're super bruisers. Yeah, they don't have the mobility or some of the weird utility, but it's absurd. Here we're inkling for another fight. I believe like the Diana does something dumb. She gets caught by the Elise web. I go right in, spin on her. Gragas jumps right into the rest of the team. Like he's just taking a shitload of damage. I get caught by Yasuo's ultimate. I get blasted. And she's like, I am not dying. Of course, they're not totally focusing on me. But I just don't take any damage. And I did a shitload of fucking damage to them. And I killed the Yasuo too. Look at my score. I got fucking giga-wrecked. I got shit on in lane. I made mistakes. Like, I should have probably bought a ward and been more careful about those tower dives. I probably should have... If I had taken teleport, I might have had a safer lane, although I wouldn't have been able to kill Yasuo. There's a lot of things I should have done. Okay, actually, watch this too. I'm sitting back here because I know the enemy team is going to go after my Thresh, so I'm able to sneak from behind and sort of trap them. They keep going in though, like they're just gung-hoing in, so it's taking me a little while to get there. But look, I Q, my flash fails because I thought Yasuo was going to stick around. I Q onto the Garen, I spin on all three of them, I do quite a bit of damage, I ult Diana to kill her, then I stab the Blitzcrank, of course Cookie gets it. So it's just like... it's just so much damage, and I guess Black Cleaver is a damage item. I only have hybrid tank offense items. That's ridiculous. Like AD Garen, Ass Destroyer Garen, the one I used to play before. Yeah, it had damage, but it required more items before it got fucking redonkulous, and of course, it didn't have the survivability that I have now. And of course, I don't need to keep telling you how OP like someone like Garen is. I'm just telling you it's pretty fucking dumb. You can see it yourself in this game. It's just any slip up the enemy has, I will execute one of their champions. If I catch the villain, they will die within like the time span of nothing. And like any dumb shit I do, I pretty much can't get punished for it. Like here, if a team fight happens, it's not the cleanest thing. I go in, I get knocked up, I get silenced, I do everything. I don't get to spin early until just now. I used my ultimate on Vayne, thought it would do some damage. It doesn't. It's a 3 for 3. It's fine enough. Actually, no, it's a 3 for 2. It's fine enough, and we get a tower as well. So it's acceptable. Then Diana jumps in, kills someone not even worth anything because it's Thresh, and then dies as a result. So that wasn't a smart exchange either. Of course, I'm hoping you're Vayne spotting this game. It's like you have a checklist for Vayne. You can see it be scratched off here and there. Also, I don't fucking know what the hell this Blitzcrank's doing. Look at this. He knows I'm like in covering the Elise, and he still pulls me. It's like he had these 2 seconds of realizing, oh no, I can't pull this. It is a bad idea, and he still does it anyways. Yeah. Either way, like again, I just got the shit kicked in. If for all intents and purposes, I should have lost the laning phase. If I was old Garen, I figure unless the Yasuo was completely stupid. I mean, I know he was dumb in the lane, but like old Garen probably wouldn't have been able to make such a comeback because I would probably be killed before Yasuo was in any critical level for me to murder. Like, I got pretty fortunate. Like, look, here I jump on the Yasuo, he pretty much dies. Like, Gragas is getting eviscerated. I ult one of them. Yeah. I tried to ult Diana, but she just dies. And by the way, here I actually didn't even like pay attention. I didn't even realize that the Corki had quadra kill. I just went for the Vayne and murdered her. If I hadn't done that, he would have gotten a penta. I did apologize at the end of the game. I'm like, I had no fucking clue you were getting a penta. But I can't really be blamed. I just wanted to bury Vayne and finish this game because holy shit, we got such a significant lead now. I mean, we've had it for quite a little while, but it's on the backs of me and the Corki. And for me, I just kind of sort of feel like the Garen pick kind of unfairly gave it to me. Because again, I just can't stress how fucking sodomized I was at the beginning of the game. And just how, like, unfair it was. I know I'm like a broken record, constantly repeating that, but think of it this way. I lost the early phase. I got super fed with basically very little effort. And now the enemy team has to kind of use so many resources to try to even control me or contain me. Imagine if the enemy team had less CC than they already have. Imagine if they had more melee champions or if they had just no ability to kite me. They'd be completely fucked. And I mean, watch this ridiculousness. I tank this tower for a little while, take basically no damage. My passive will kick in soon enough and heal me back to nearly full. Look at that, it's just dumb as shit. Then watch this. We go after the Yasuo and the Gragas, and then the Blitzcrank. I'm taking the tower this entire time, and then both towers start focusing on me. Just look at how little goddamn damage I'm taking and how much damage I was still able to put out. So you know Garen and the other Juggernauts are going to get nerfed. And probably just, you know, in Riot fashion, they'll overdo it. So after they overdo it, they're kind of going to fall back into that whole void of unusedness or whatever. They're just not going to be used. So hooray for Garen and your inevitable nerf. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I have a few sponsors that are helping me maintain this channel, such as Crunchyroll, Pro Build Systems, and Loot Crate. I have links to these services in the description below. Using them and using my codes directly supports my channel.